on purpose, focus, planning post-NYSC. So even as you are learning what to do during NYSC, what comes next after NYSC. So our speaker will be speaking to us on that topic. Our speaker for this session is Miss Toluwani, and she is a culturally intuitive brand and media strategist. She thinks like a challenger, she interrogates the norms, she identifies overlooked opportunities that cut through noise, connects with real people across different industries. Beyond corporate strategy, she's the founder of City on a Hill Community, a faith-based initiative empowering young Christians to excel professionally without compromising their spiritual values. She's also dedicated to unlocking sustainable impact in the youth. So this is our speaker for this session. She'll be speaking to us on purpose, focus, and planning post NYSC. Please join me as we welcome our speaker, Ms. Toluwani. A clap for her.
Good evening, everyone. I am so happy to be here. It is a privilege. Every time I have to speak to young people, it's a privilege for me. Thank you for the discussion. Every time I have to speak to young people is a huge privilege for me because I also had so many questions before NYSC. I mean, right after I was graduating school, when I got into NYSC, after NYSC, there were there were moments in my life where I had questions, and quite a number of young people have the same question too. I just want to ask people, all of you, to drop in the chat. What will you say is your biggest goal after NYSC? Drop it in the chat. I want to see your responses. What will you say is your biggest goal post NYSC? I apologize. I did not come with a presentation. That part, the planning wasn't so perfect, but I'll try as much as possible to carry everyone along. What would you say is your major purpose post NYSC? Your major goal post NYSC? I'm reading the chat. Someone said impact. Okay. What's your major goal post NYSC? Like you can give me a holistic perspective into what your major goal is, your major purpose is post NYSC. I'm reading. Nobody wants to share with me. I mean, that's a way I can help. I want to be as practical and real as possible and try to dive into individual context. Yes, after finishing your NYSC, post NYSC. Furthering your studies and kicking off your career. Success says furthering her studies and kicking off her career. I'm reading, waiting to read more. Getting your dream job. Looking for a job. Oh, hey. I can understand. Let me just read 2 more comments and then I'll go ahead. Atero Precious says, my major goal in NYSC is to prepare for the next phase, working on my brand, finances, summary, independent adult life. Emmanuel Ayodele says, placing myself in a strategic position to make myself employable and wealth creation journey. David says, successful impact all round and kickstarting the planned career path alongside improving my business. So all of you that have responded, I want you to put it in the chat. How long do you think it would take for you to get to all of these goals? Put it, I would like to read, like, based on what you know currently. I mean, everybody's still learning, and at this phase, to be honest, learning is even still very, very large. How many years do you think it would take you to achieve all of these goals? I just want to see it in the chat. If you know you responded. So let me call the names. Success, Badibo, Oluwamiyiwa, Atere Precious, Emmanuel, David. Maybe in few weeks, okay? Muyiwa says maybe in few weeks. Okay, waiting to read. For wealth creation, okay, for employability, 2 to 5 years. For wealth creation, it's a continuous journey. You're right. I'm waiting to read more. I want to see how you guys are thinking about the timing it will take to achieve your goals after NYSC. 2 to 3 years, all things being equal. Okay. Okay. So let me go ahead. I believe, at least I heard someone said hopefully 2 years, great. I heard you guys give the context of God when you were rewinding what you have learned from the last session. Purpose, as I have come to know it, is knowing Christ and making him known. Many times our career, our life's work, whether you're doing a 9 to 5, you're an entrepreneur, you're into social impact, you're a freelancer, in fact, whether you're a full-time mother or a full-time father, those are your assignments. Primarily, your purpose in life is to know Christ and make him known. So every other thing you're doing is a channel and is a vehicle into helping people see Christ, helping people see the Christ in you, right? And I like to say that your place of work, you spend a lot of hours, 8 hours per day. If you calculate that for 5 days, that's about 40 hours a week, working. Some people even do more than that. So a lot of times that's the best place to, number one, meet people, number two, showcase the glory of God, something like that. So purpose, I've explained now how purpose and assignments connect. And I know many of you here are concerned with what do I really do next? I have these plans and I have these ideas, and it looks really blank for me right now. So first thing I'm going to say is you have to have the heart of a steward, first and foremost. A steward is someone who inherently manages all that God has given them properly. So sometimes you might not be a steward of a very big conglomerate here. If I scroll up to what someone said, he says he wants to start I think someone said he wants to do okay, I'm looking for the one that said his business, employable wealth creation journey. Someone who said business, if employability 2 to 5 years. So let's say your dream job is actually something that pays you. The economy is really bad now. So let's say something that pays you about 500K and above. Maybe that's your dream job. Sorry, I'm trying to. Did someone say something? It says be a steward. Yeah. What you have now before you get to your dream job, number one, first and foremost thing is that you have to be a good steward for what you have right now. So let me ask again. I want you guys to respond. What do you have right now? It might be something very simple or silly. It can be your small business that it can even be your airtime business. It can be a small business that you have. It could be a job that you have. I want to see in the comment section. Like I said, I want to help you guys in your personal context. So I would like if you guys can really be very interactive. So I want to hear, what do you have in your hands right now? Right now, I have my phone and I just started content creation and I'm currently doing my internship program. Good. Right now, I have an idea. Very good. A mental health content creator. Great, precious, great blessing. Let me see if I can read some more. I want you guys to tell me what you have now. Transportation and logistics business. White Wheels Transport and Logistics. Someone said I have a business now. Good. But I know that you guys are also probably looking at getting a 9 to 5, because what you've been told is that, for you to survive, you actually need to have the money, right? It's true. When the conversation we were having, we had an event in my own community this morning as well. One of the things that were highlighted by people who came to talk about their different passion is that sometimes if you're not born with a silver spoon, you have to work. So not every, in many cases, do the job you're not even so passionate about just to be able to fund your dreams. Great. I'm reading it, an idea for data business, white wheels transport. Okay, so you guys have ideas, you guys have businesses. So the next question is, are you being a very good steward of it? Because you can be setting your eyes on something that is very far ahead, that you're not being a good steward of what you have now. I want to say something very carefully. God is an investor. God is an investor. He loves all of his children. He loves all of his hey God English. He loves all of his children, but he's also an investor. He's looking at you. He's looking at how mature you are with what you have. He's looking at how you think. He's looking at how visionary you are. He's looking at if you talk and do and not just talk. Right? He's looking at all of those things. And though he loves all of his children, he will not give you more than what you cannot handle in your current capacity. So it is the onus lies on you to be a good steward and to build your capacity with what you have. So let me pick it from here. Precious says she's a mental health creator. If Precious wants to be a good steward of where she is right now, please, by the way, I need to know how many minutes do I have for this? How many minutes do I have for this?
Session is for 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Please, how many minutes left do I have?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. So if Precious wanted to be a very good content creator, Precious would make sure she studies every single thing that has to do with creating stellar content. I hope you know that some people eat their bread and butter from content, right? It's literally some people's career path. So if Precious wanted to be a very good steward of where she is right now, she will learn every single thing she needs to know about being a mental health content creator. She would even learn how to film. She would learn how to post correctly. She would learn how to use the algorithms. That's how to be a good steward. Let's go to an idea. If you had just an idea right now, being a good steward means that you would go and find the feasibility of your idea if it is solving a real problem. Because you don't just want an idea that sounds fancy. You want it to be able to eventually generate money for you, right? Because to be honest, I'm in the adult world, is bills after bills. So your idea is probably not the first idea ever in the world. So if you have an idea, an example of what a good steward would do is go and read and find out a lot about the feasibility of this idea, what it will really take to birth it, what it will really take to sustain it, the investment that is necessary. Look, all of those things, they move God, because diligence cannot be bought. Before you worry about what is your next, what is going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years, what are you doing with what you have in your hands right now? Do you know that many times when God wants to give you He wants to give you new blessings, most times people are doing something currently in there. You will never ever, He's looking at someone like, this person, with the little he or she is doing, I can give them more. I can shift their focus and now give them more. So I'll give you an example. While I was in my own NYSC, still talking about stewardship, I think I'll just highlight a few points because I don't have so much time. While I was in my own NYSC, I struggled with something, and that was working with some of my team members, because I did not know how to do mediocre work. Right. I worked in an NGO first, an EdTech. It was an EdTech that had a subsidiary of an NGO, right? And we had to plan a lot of events. Sometimes we had to go to some of these communities to speak, to do the field work and all of that. I had other team members that were NYSC staff that, to be honest, they had so much in their mind. They either were just there for the money, or they were being too careful. They didn't want to work hard enough, because they're like, how much are they even paying me? If it's not just 30K. I didn't have that mindset. The mindset I had was, look, if I do this work well, it will stand out on my portfolio. And so I took it like I was being paid a lot of money for it. And every single thing I put on my portfolio, on my CV that I did in this work, I owned it with my full chest. There was no lie, there was no stealing. You're about to say mi ò parọ́, mi ò jalè. It was there was that diligence, and it spoke for me, because when we now had new projects, they would call me, come and sit in the room with government stakeholders. Now they will ask, what is your idea? I was given a voice. Do you understand? So what you have in your hand now, you have to be a very good steward for it. Number two thing you need to learn, if you really want to get all of your dreams, achieve all of your dreams, and I'll speak to the reality of the timeline of achieving your dreams much later, is you need to build tenacity. So you notice I'm not giving you go and apply for these jobs. Those things are secondary, to be very honest. You could get a very good job, but you might not be able to stay at the job because you've not built some of these mindsets that are pillars for you to sustain anything. So the second thing you need to learn is tenacity. When it comes to, please, am I focus planning and purpose post-NYSC? You need to learn tenacity, because you apply, you will apply and be tired. You will apply. I'm not quoting it. My friends tell me that I'm a bit blunt. I'm trying to not be too blunt. You apply a lot. God's favor comes to play. He doesn't leave his children to suffer, definitely. When you commit your ways to God, you pray about it. But every challenge you face in life is also fashioning you to be a stronger version of who you are meant to be. Do you understand? So you have to develop a thick skin. And it will be good if you start early. Because when you start early, and do you know, this thick skin is not just towards 9 to 5. If you want to have a business, there are people in this Nigeria, they started their startup or businesses, they faced it head on, they built it properly, they applied for funding, and they got funding. Do you understand? They got funding, they got training. So me, I'm a firm believer that if you have a business and you don't want to do a 9 to 5, if you can be a very good steward of it and you can be tenacious, you can get to your dreams. You can focus on just that business without even having to do a 9 to 5. But I understand that economically it might be tough. But if the people who are able to do it are able to do it, so you need to build tenacity for this next phase that you're entering, knowing that it will be challenging, but elemi luma last. I don't know if you've heard that before. If at some point you get tired, just remember that elemi luma last. You have to build tenacity. Then the third point is that prepare and present yourself well. Prepare and present yourself well. If, for example, you want to be a social media manager or marketing manager, you want to enter the marketing world, and you are submitting an application, best believe that if you're applying through LinkedIn, if a job comes out, because of the way the job market is right now in Nigeria, about 100 people, if you're not careful, about 100 people have applied in the next 30 minutes. So you are competing with brilliant minds that are on the same, if not on a better pedestal than you. So if you don't research and present yourself well, you most likely will not be considered. A very good way to present yourself well is do your research. Sorry, I'm going back to it again. So let's say you find a job opportunity you really want to apply to. Don't just be generic. If you are generic, you will not even be invited to the room. This is a pro tip, go to the company's website, go and look at their website, go and look at their social media, find a problem. This is a secret sauce and it works a lot. But as much as it sounds simple, not everybody is always able to do it. Go and find the problem that they're having, right? That you believe you can solve. A lot of freelancers use this strategy, especially when they're trying to get leads. Freelancers, find a problem that you believe you can solve that they have, and write it in your cover letter, write it in your message, weave it into your CV. Let's stand out. If you have to go the extra mile to create a portfolio, do it. There are free tools right now. Another thing is, you guys, you are in a generation where AI is in Nigeria, is currently in its middle development capacity. So it means that to a very large extent, to a 60% degree, it can accelerate your productivity. So that means that you're not supposed to go and apply for a job in a very mediocre manner. Don't do that. You have all the tools in your hand to apply properly. Stand out. Presently and currently, one of at least I have been about 4 years plus now post school and all of that working, and I did my NYSC immediately. So let's say 3 years plus post NYSC. One of the problems I hear a lot of employers complain about is that people apply to jobs generically. You need to understand that you are fighting, if you're not someone that is well connected, you are fighting nepotism. So if you don't put your first foot forward, when you're applying for all of these jobs, you will not even stand a chance. So what I do is, I know a lot of people will tell you apply to 100 jobs. Yeah, I said it, you apply tire. In reality, I never really applied to 100 jobs. You know why? Because I would actually look at this brand. Number one, the role they're asking for, can I do it? Can I grow into it in the next 6 months and do it well? So you might see a job and see the money, but you're not seeing the work. They are saying this job, they're going to pay you 800K. They're looking for a tech analyst. Have you gone to check if you can actually do it? If you can't do it now, can you adapt to it in 6 months? Or they will kick you out and throw you away with your CV and everything after 2 months? Check all of those things, apply properly, put your best foot forward when you're trying to get any of these jobs, right? So be diligent, be excellent, and your dreams will not be far from you. Now, in reality, what is in realistic? How many minutes do I have left, Deborah?
10 minutes left.
10 minutes. So what is the what's the most realistic way what's the most realistic timeline to achieving your dreams? Let's factor in God's favor. Let's factor in, let's say you've done all of those things I have mentioned before, your stewardship, your tenacity, all of those things are in place. Yes, you can achieve in even 1 year, to be very honest. There are situations like that. But prepare your heart that you're going for the long haul. Prepare your mind and your heart that you're going for the long haul. I read some stories on LinkedIn. There can just be someone who is, this person, maybe she found this UN job, give or take 1 year, 6 months after school. And then, 3 years later, she's like, she's in a very, very high place right now. It works for some people like that, but for many people, it is a long haul. And one of the reasons why, if you are a good steward and you are very excellent in where you are, is if it's going to take some people 5 years, the time will be shortened for you. And I also have to say that if you say you want to achieve most of your dreams in the next, many people say 2 to 5 years, the truth is you're going to stretch. You are going to stretch like mad. You are going to stretch. I wish I had a rubber band to pull it, to showcase it. See, I work with a lot of young people, and I'll be honest with you guys, one of the things I struggle with the most is many of them don't understand this. No man's business many people's business were not set up by anybody's daddy, right? And so when you are employed to a job, you're employed to work and provide results. If you enter management role, you understand that results is really why you are there. And so nobody is there for your excuses, right? I work with a lot of young people, even at internship level, and they don't give it their best. So I want every single person on this call to have that dedicated mindset. If you really want to stand out with the best opportunities, there are many running this race. There are many that are trying to get the same thing you're trying to get. But what differentiates the both of you is how diligent you are, is how disciplined you are, is how focused you are. And that thing stands people out. So some people would would laugh and say, I'm not doing this work. Oh. It's too hectic, it's too stressful. Do it now. So you will not do it when you are 40 years old. Do it now. So you won't do it when you're 40 years old. So you will not do it when people have started investing. See, there's a pattern, there's a formula for making wealth, and I'll share it with you. This formula is like what works for many people. It might be different. There are different cases, definitely, but let's say to 60% of the time, this is how it works, especially in this our age and time that now the media is mainstream, and then you have AI and technology. One is if you have a good source of income, you're earning quite decently, and when I mean decently, let's say about 250 and 250 to about 350 or 400K, you're earning around that amount. The first thing you have to do is save your money, right? You save your money. The next way, that after saving your money, invest your money in something that's moving fast. So let's say a business. Now I'm talking about, let's say even if you're not in 9 to 5, let's say you have in fact, you started with a business. If you're earning any money at all, save a percentage of it. I'm teaching you the formula to wealth. Save a percentage of it, invest in it, whatever you want to invest in at that point in time, whether it's stocks, bonds, or it is a business, invest in something, and make that thing keep on rolling that thing over. That's how you build wealth. You might not be able to fully understand that, but I hope you do. Okay, this is it. Let me give a much more practical example. Let me use the content creators example. So Precious is a content creator, but she's working in 9 to 5 because she still has to meet her bills, and content creation is not yet paying for her, at least in the next phase of her life. So she's saving a percentage of her money per month, and then at the 7th month, she invests it into something. Thankfully, there are a lot of investment platforms like Piggyvest, Cowrywise, that you can do an investment and get maybe 22% per annum, 12 to 22% per annum a year. She just keeps on building that, So at some point, at the side, she's also building a content creation business. At some point, she now has built so much value because in that content creation too, she's researching, she's putting her best foot forward. Please note what I'm saying. I'm not saying you just go and record a video. It doesn't have a beginning to an end. She's putting her best foot forward. Somebody's noticing her. And I've seen this thing play in real life. I know someone that is currently a product manager, same trajectory with me. What she does is she just creates day in her life as a product manager. Right now, PR brands are reaching out to her. They might look small, but she has activated that source of income already. Now, in year 2 or year 3, Precious, who has built a lot of traction, both in savings and investment, even if it is small-term investments, she has built a lot of traction in savings and investments. She can now start selling digital products or replicating, selling her knowledge. So she's now telling you, I can teach you how to become a this and this. She's solving real problems that she has been able to solve through stewardship, tenacity, and proper presentation. She's solving this problem, she's packaging it, and she's selling it at unit prices. See, if she continues doing that, before you know it, the probability of Precious making $1 million in the next 5 years is higher. So I've taught you a way for building wealth. So this is the summary, basically. That's the summary. Yeah. Does anybody have any? Are we waiting for the questions now? I think I've come to the end of my session. But summary of what I said is, in preparing for your next phase, number 1, you have to be a good steward. Number 2, you have to build tenacity. Number 3, you have to put your best foot forward, right? And in understanding timelines, understand that really the extent to which you achieve your dreams is the extent to which you factor in those 3 points and you work with it. And I'm asking everybody on this call, in your different places of work, please be the most diligent person in the room. Please be the most diligent person in the room. Don't listen to naysayers. Don't listen to people that tell you that you're doing too much. Don't listen to people that say, what are you even doing safe? Don't listen to those people. The 99% of people are mediocre. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I said this, but it's true. Hard talk here this evening. If you want to be someone who actually makes wealth, you have to kick out mediocrity and the mindset of being average. And that will mean in the early phase of your career, putting in the work. You have to put in the work, especially if you want to achieve your dreams in the next 2 to 5 years. Thank you so much.